I'm eXtaticus. That is my internet alias, and I am a Eurobeat musician who generally does music to do with ponies at the moment. But I'm looking to branch out. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, okay then. Here, so I have some of the questions here, and they're in no
Fantastic.
particular order or anything. So first, I guess just so
hmm
what is your favorite piece of music that you've made so far?
Oh God, that's difficult. Well, I know that the first one I made was "Into the Stratosphere," and it was a song I wrote about Rainbow Dash. But that's the one that almost everyone else likes most. I think that one's got the best lyrics out of all the ones I've written. I think my next track after that, "Sunlight," has it's my favourite in terms of the melody. But I think overall, taking everything like production, vocals, my performance of it and stuff into account, it's a toss-up between Never-Ending Nightmare and Music of My Destiny, which are the songs I did for Luna and Vinyl Scratch, respectively.
Yeah, those two are
To
probably
be
my
honest, I think
favorite.
Never-Ending... Huh?
Yeah, those two are probably my favorite. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of fans on Facebook, actually, who actually message me and say, "Oh my god, Into the Stratosphere, you've got to record a new version of Into the Stratosphere." I'm like, well, the production on the old one was pretty poor, I'm going to be honest. It was over a year ago now, so I think, yeah, you know what? One of my next tracks in the coming holidays could be Into the Stratosphere VIP mix or something, whatever it is, dance musicians call the in-home versions of their tracks nowadays. So yeah, my favourite is Music of My Destiny, I think. I'll go for that one.
All right. All right. So another question then. So, are there any other musicians in the fandom that you would recommend?
Well, the only I don't actually listen. Honestly, I don't really listen to a lot of Brony music. There are only a few artists who I actually really enjoy, and most of the audience will probably, they'll probably know them already. I can only really recommend the other artists who make Eurobeat because I'm not generally into the whole electronic dance scene or the acoustic stuff. I listen to a bit of Mando Pony.
Ah.
But the only other artist who I can really say, yes, definitely check out their work if you like mine, is Odyssey Eurobeat, also known as Eurobeat Brony.
Right, and everybody knows him.
And everybody knows who he is.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I'm not stupid. I know where half of my views come from, right? So it's like I gotta return at least as much of the favour as I can,
Right.
I did actually get someone. It was funny actually. I got a question on Tumblr, and somebody asked me, "Who is Odyssey Eurobeat?" And I was thinking, my God, you know about me, but you don't know about him. It's like literally for months on end. If you Google search the word Eurobeat Brony would be the first thing to come up.
Yeah.
And it became incredibly difficult to find like Eurobeat albums and things because it was all, Discord. And the first thing that came up, it wasn't even the actual Eurobeat version of Discord. It was the Living Tombstones remix, and I was just like, God, wow,
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, if I had to recommend one Brony artist, it would be him.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, and then any favorite musicians outside of the fandom?
God. Let me just load up my music library and read off a few of them.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I thoroughly recommend checking out... oh, God. The thing is, if you ask me for like favourite musicians, I'm going to be reeling off a whole list of names of people who have done Eurobeat tracks. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Like, how Eurobeat is usually distributed is in big compilations. Each of the artists, in inverted commas, are vocalists who use different names. So I can give you names of loads and loads of vocalists, but often they're the same, 7 or 8 different producers who are doing it for all of them. But I can list a load of good Eurobeat tracks, but other than Eurobeat, I listen to Caramel, who you will know from Caramel Dancing, Dragon Force, Aqua. I like a little bit of AAA, who are a J-pop band. 2 Unlimited are quite fun. I listen to a lot of video game music as well. Actually, I've got a whole list of soundtracks from old Sega games.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of video game music too.
Yeah. I've got a big collection of Sonic the Hedgehog soundtracks in lossless format as well, which is pretty good. Sticking on with J-pop and things like that, TM Revolution, who basically I saw a video of him performing his song Hot Limit live, and it pretty much inspired me to get off my arse and make music, you know. There's a metal band called The Morning After who are quite good as well. Bloodstained Child, Skrillex. I have a couple of Skrillex albums actually. He's really the only dubstep artist I listen to. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mainly listen to Eurobeat, and as I said, we're going to be here all day if I go into reeling off Eurobeat aliases, so I won't.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so in that case, on the subject of Eurobeat, so the various subgenres of electronic music are kind of vaguely defined, with dubstep, chiptune, Eurobeat, all that. So how would you define Eurobeat?
Oh god. Well, it's a genre that's closely based on high energy music and stuff like Italo disco from the 1980s. It's got an offbeat sort of bass line, so it's your standard kick, hat, snare, hat, kick, hat, sort of beat with a sort of plucked bass that goes on every offbeat. So that's your sort of basic backbone. The structure is a bit like a rock song, so you have sort of riff type sounds as opposed to drops that you would see in like Eurodance or dubstep or something like that.
Right.
So it's either after every chorus or before every verse or whatever, you'll have some thick super saw type sound coming in and whacking out this awesome riff. And it usually follows a sort of linear verse chorus riff breakdown chorus riff finish structure. It's very linear, quite repetitive. A lot of people complain that Eurobeat is quite formulaic, and yeah, it does have a strict formula to it, but I think the limitations of it is part of what allows people to innovate, within those limitations and make something great despite the restrictions that are imposed on making it specifically Eurobeat. But it's formulaic, but it is quite a fun genre to listen to.
Yeah,
it's about how you use the formula to your advantage and experimenting within it.
Right.
I think.
But
really, I think Eurobeat is just about having a bloody good time. It's feel-good, cheesy Europop. Yeah, that's all you need to know. It's sort of Italian, Japanese, whatever. Have fun.
Alright, and have you ever tried making music in any other genres?
Well, the only time I've ever really made music in other genres, I made a disco-style version of a song called Rolling in the Deep, but unfortunately I can't publish that because it was coursework that I did for a school project. I did a bit of sort of electronic-style rock music, and yeah, I can't publish that either because it was part of the same sort of school-type course, and I can't publish it on the internet because I think the exam board will look it up on the internet and go, oh, you copied this person on the internet. It's like, no, we are the same person. It's happened before where people have done these amazing projects and go, yeah, I'll submit it to the exam board and stick it online. And the exam board complain because it's gone online before it's reached the marking. So, I can't show anyone any of those. And as I said, the songs before I went to Eurobeat were sort of loop-based crap, electronic, generic stuff. So I really think Eurobeat's the only way forwards for me at the moment. But I'm perfectly open to making other styles of music. I mean, in Music of My Destiny, I did have a dubstep style drop. Well, actually, it's what I thought was dubstep. But somebody later on said, oh no, that's not dubstep, that's complextro. And I'm like, complotro?
Sound like dubstep to me, but...
Yeah, well, it's like I was having a conversation actually because the Eurobeat community is full of people who would really, really like things to stay exactly the same as they have been for the last 20 years in the genre. Whereas I'm a person who likes to sort of experiment with different styles of Europop or different styles of music or different styles of dance and sort of like embed it within the formula just to keep it varied, just to keep it interesting. And we were having a big discussion in this thread about dubstep appearing in Eurobeat, because it's sort of like the antithesis of Eurobeat, right? It's whining wubs and angry stabs and things, whereas Eurobeat's very upbeat and nice and melodic. And I heard, actually, it was another Eurobeat musician who does pony tracks. His name is Delta Brony.
Oh,
I don't know if you've heard of him. His YouTube alias is King Sparta X37. And I sent him a message on Tumblr saying, oh yeah, you do dubstep and you do Eurobeat, so why don't you do like a Eurobeat dubstep combo? And he basically told me flat out, oh no, it can't be done because they're different BPMs and different styles. And I was like, can't be done, yeah right, and then I did it. So, you know, that's as close as I've really come to doing a really different genre, as it were. So yeah.
All right. And so for making your music, what kind of software and hardware do you use?
Hardware is just my standard desktop PC. I mean, it's, you know, Core i3 gaming-ish rig. I've got a pair of massive hi-fi speakers sitting on my desk. They're my monitors. They've got big separate units for bass, mids, and trebles, so it's nice balanced sound. You need that if you're, you know, composing music. You need something that's going to accurately represent what the sound is actually like, as opposed to tainting it with too much bass or too much treble. Because a lot of people mix either on headphones, and mixing on headphones is a bad idea because you can't judge the space and depth in the sound properly, because it's obviously, you know, right next to your head.
Right.
And a lot of people mix when they've got subwoofers, and subwoofers not only increase the amount of bass, like low bass you have, by too much, but they also muddy the stereo image, so you can't accurately hear the space again of what you're listening to and what you're making. In terms of software, I use FL Studio.
All right.
It's just my preferred digital audio workstation of choice. But really, and I say this truthfully, you can use any digital audio workstation you want. You can use Cubase, you can use Ableton Live, you can use Logic Pro. Some people, God help them, but they use Linux Multimedia Studio to make music. I'm not going to pass judgment on that, but any sort of major digital audio workstation, absolutely fine. But my preferred one is FL Studio.
Alright, and for hardware, you know, so you don't have like a fancy keyboard or anything?
No, I have no hardware. But basically what I do is, there's a function in FL Studio where it maps the keys on your keyboard to keys on a piano. And that's basically all I have in terms of sort of piano simulation, stuff like that. Other than that, there's nothing. So yeah, I'm literally 100% in software guy. Oh no, actually, no, I tell a lie. The microphone I use is an integrated webcam mic.
Huh.
A sort of like $20 webcam mic.
And that's the same microphone you use for even just when you're singing?
Yep, it's the same microphone I'm using now.
Huh. Interesting.
It sounds very different in the songs. I mean, you can get away with using... I recommend using really high-quality equipment, but you can get away with using quite cheap stuff in your recordings as long as you process it properly. And honestly, I think in songs like Music of My Destiny and Neverending Nightmare and stuff like that, the microphone I'm using sounds like it's a lot more than just a $20 webcam mic.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's literally all I use. I'm on a quite strict budget. I saved up for a couple years for this computer, and then it broke, so I had to save up for another 6 months to get it fixed again. I'm just like, it made such a hit on the amount of cash I have that I don't have the money to spend on like a £50 or £60 mic. You know, I can't afford it. I had to pirate FL Studio. So yeah, don't feel bad about listening to my music though, right? Because it's, you know, it's all legit.
Just don't let any of the FL Studio devs know. Right.
The thing is, right, though, when I start selling the music, I will buy it and I will buy every plugin for it.
Right.
But until that time, I just, I'm only 17 years old. I cannot afford all of this £200 software. Well, I mean, when you consider that digital audio workstations, the cheapest one you can get is £200, and that's the price for Logic Pro on the Mac or FL Studio on the PC. They're both the same price. And when you consider that Windows 7 Professional is only £100, £110, even like from the most expensive shops, I think digital audio workstations are overpriced, and they basically get away with that price because they know that most of the people who buy it are going to be making money out of it, so they can afford to pay that. But I can't. So yeah.
Yeah, and I've used a bit of the free version of FL Studio, and it's kind of a pain because it doesn't actually let you save. So.
Yeah. Oh no, it lets you save, but you can't load. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I'll be cracking that to the full version. Basically, it's an unlocked demo, so it's sort of hacked up, so I can do all the professional type stuff in it. So, yeah. I mean, I don't promote piracy or anything, but stealing is wrong,
Cool kids.
Stay in school, don't do drugs, don't steal.
Yep.
Original software, do not steal. Anyway, next question.
Alright, okay, so now we're kind of getting away from the Eurobeat, but so you also write fan fictions, and...
Yes, I write fan fiction. Yeah, I write fan fiction. It's mainly shipping, I'll be honest. Actually, it's exclusively shipping, and I don't update my big long fic anything like as much as I should. I'm still writing the third chapter of it, actually. It's been over 6 months since the last one, which is pretty disgraceful, I'm going to be honest, but, whatever. I consider myself quite a skilled writer. Not tooting my own horn or anything, but, it's pretty good.
Alright.
So, yeah, what was the question on that, then?
Well, just, I don't know, any thoughts on the whole fanfiction thing, and in particular, so why do you prefer Twidash shipping over, say, some other popular ships?
Why is Twidash my OTP?
Yeah.
Basically. Basically I used to be an avid Twiluna shipper. Ages and ages and ages ago, when I first got into the fandom in December 2011, I think it was. It was a while ago now. But yeah, it got to around the time of the episode in season 2, Read It and Weep, which is the one where Rainbow Dash breaks a wing and goes into the hospital. And I was like, hold on though, because Rainbow Dash and Twilight Sparkle are supposed to be, they're almost like the antithesis of each other. Rainbow Dash is the brash, almost brutish, self-obsessed jock, whereas Twilight Sparkle is actually quite a meek, timid librarian type who's very bookish. And you would think that they wouldn't go together, but they sort of share a common interest with the whole daring do thing. I don't know, it sort of hit off a bit with me, and I thought, yeah, that's kind of a cute ship. And very slowly they worked themselves into my life, and I'm now an avid Twidash shipper. Yeah.
Okay, and
OTP forever.
And would you say that Twilight recently growing wings, has that opened up any new shipping opportunities for you?
Absolutely. As Rainbow Dash says in the final episode of season 3, new flying buddy.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what antics they get up to in season 4. There won't be any official shipping, I know that much, but whatever. I can dream. I can always dream.
We can always dream.
That's what fanfiction is for. I honestly believe, right, that long after the TV series is over, long after the comic series is over, long after, any sort of official continuity for Friendship is Magic is being published at all, fanfiction will continue to keep the series alive for a good few years, I think. Yeah. I mean, hell, there are still people writing fanfiction of the original series Star Trek. Come on.
Right, and I sort of agree with that, and something that I've always liked is how if there's ever some sort of idea that the show's canon sort of failed to explore to its fullest extent, you can always count on the fandom to do that for you.
Yes. Oh yes, definitely.
In particular, say for example in the second story arc of the comics, I don't know if you've read those, but
I haven't actually. Apparently they're really good.
Yeah, they're alright, so...
Because I used to be quite a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I know this is going slightly off topic, but I used to be quite an active member in the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom, and when they... the comic series for the Sonic the Hedgehog series, it's been going for like 20 years now without a single break. It's like one of the most long-running single-series comic books ever, and this is including all the heavy hitters like Spider-Man, Batman, all the others. None of them have gone on a single sort of consistent series. They've all branched off into spin-offs, but that comic has stayed active and consistent for the last 20 years. And if the MLP comic is to the TV series anything like what the Sonic comic is to the Sonic the Hedgehog games, then it's going to be around for a while, and it's going to be good.
Right, and
so I'd very much like to get into it, but unfortunately, import costs and everything else, I can't really afford it. So I'm going to have to obtain it somehow, I guess.
But
yeah, under the desk. You are a pirate.
So
well, I'm a pirate.
Yeah, I don't know. So with the second comics, if you don't mind some spoilers, basically sort of what happens in it is Rarity gets sort of possessed by the same forces that turned Luna into Nightmare Moon, and then we get Nightmare Rarity, which is pretty interesting.
Hey. Nightmarity.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, and that's interesting, although something that I really don't think the comics explored very well is necessarily how that played out from Rarity's perspective, because it's more from the story was more told from the perspective of Spike and the rest of the main six. Yeah, we never really felt how Rarity felt being, sort of trapped inside this thing and being possessed and everything, and that was sort of disappointing. But then again, the fandom picked that torch up, and I don't know if you've heard of another musician, Gatto Paint, or possibly Hatto Paint, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But yeah, he's made a series of songs that are all about, telling that same story, but from Rarity's perspective, and it's really interesting. Here, I'll put a link in the description.
That's pretty cool.
And it was actually listening to those songs that said, okay, I am going to have to get these comics at some point and read them.
Mm-hmm. Well, my theory on the whole Nightmare Moon thing is, and this is how I'm going to be writing it in my fan fiction that I'm currently doing. There's going to be a little bit, hinting into the sort of history of Equestria and the princesses and Discord and stuff like that. And the explanation that I've sort of written down is Nightmare Moon is an evil parasite that latches onto ponies' consciousnesses by exploiting their weaknesses, in Luna's case her loneliness, and takes over their minds and bodies by slowly corrupting them. Most likely it was weakened by the elements of harmony first time around, but was not yet removed altogether, and some as yet unexplained event in Season 4 has triggered it again. Sorry for the Season 4 spoiler.
Yeah.
I hope you've seen the animatics.
Yeah, I'll put something up on the video that'll just say, warning, spoiler in 3, 2, 1...
Yeah, you just make it pause. It's like, because I think that Nightmare Moon is not inherently a part of Luna. Rather, it's some sort of evil outside force that has attacked invasively and sort of taken over. And that's how I wrote Neverending Nightmare. That's what the lyrics to Neverending Nightmare are about.
Right.
And yeah, my song. Hold on. The first verse is more about sort of before Nightmare Moon and Luna becoming angry and lonely and all the rest of it. And the next verse, the second verse, is more about afterwards, sort of regretting having let this sort of evil parasite thing in. It's all kind of implied meaning. The reason why I write my songs like that, I'm going a bit off topic here, but the reason why I write my songs like that is I really don't like listening to fan-made brony music that drops loads of like names of characters, and there's references to hooves and horns and wings and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, it's all very well and it's excusable in the show, but in a fan context, it's really just corny. So I usually go for the sort of more subtle implied meaning of it.
Yeah, and I kind of actually like how your music never explicitly mentions ponies or any of the names or anything, because that way I can be listening to the music in public,
yes,
and nobody has to know. I mean,
that's one of the reasons why I did it, is that you know, if anyone listens to any of my songs, they can say, oh, that's a fantastic track, Jack, that's fantastic, you know, give me the FLAC file, give me the MP3 or something, fine, excellent, you know. The actual music itself works just as well in a pony context as it does outside of the context. And another reason for that is, if I ever make it big, I don't want to have to write a whole album load of extra songs on top of the ones I already have. I can just strip the pony stuff out and repurpose them.
Right.
But yeah, you know, the reason is versatility, and because I myself don't like listening to really corny music that says the names of the characters a lot. And actually, what's really clever, I find, are the songs that say the character names but that get away with it. The Ken Ashcorp rap that he did, I can't even remember what it's called. I think it was called 20% Cooler or something like that, where he does mention the name of one of the characters, but it works in context with sort of like outside of the whole pony thing. Mm-hmm. And as well as that, in Luna, Eurobeat Brony's track Luna could just be the name of the girl.
Right.
And Discord could be just, well, you know, the actual concept, Discord, couldn't it? The way he's written it.
Yeah, or if someone overhears me listening to Wooden Toaster's Awoken, then it sounds like just sort of one of those weird, standard, angsty teenager emo sort of songs.
But if somebody overhears you listening to Beyond Her Garden or Rainbow Factory,
right,
it's a little more difficult to explain.
Yeah, it's like, did that song just mention Pegasi?
Yeah. Oh, the other one is, oh God, Love Me Cheerily. The Living Tombstone did the vocals on. I think that's a Wooden Toaster song.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Linking back to your song, your question earlier, the Living Tombstone and the Wooden Toaster, they're good. They're good musicians as well. Also, brony musicians. So obviously, I recommend. But again, everybody knows them.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah. No, the Wooden Toaster. With Love Me Cheerily. Cheerily could just be the name of somebody's teacher, right? And it actually, in that song, there is a line that says, I'm afraid to raise my hand. Ponies don't have hands.
Yeah.
So it's like, that could work so well out of context if you just, like, stripped it of all the pony stuff, whatever, and I don't know, even if you put it on Bandcamp under a completely non-pony alias or something like that. Yeah, that would work completely perfectly, but it's a fantastic song too. But yeah, that's the sort of brony music that I like listening to.
Right, and again, you know, Gatto Paint's songs about Nightmarity, they do the same sort of thing. They never specifically mention Rarity or Nightmare Moon or anything, but you can definitely tell, especially, you know, when it says so in the title, that it's about that, and it's really clever and neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So that kind of got off topic. Anyway, back to the question. So who would you say is best pony?
Okay. I'm about to lose a lot of fans here, but I actually have two answers to this question, and bear with me for a moment. I have a favourite pony, but they're not necessarily who I think is the best out of all of them. Best, I would say, is Twilight Sparkle, because, you know, she's the main character, she has the most interesting character development, her story arc is the most fleshed out, her personality is easily as interesting as all of the others, if not more so, and she the whole story really is about her journey, regardless of what everyone thought about season 2 dividing the attention up equally between all of the other main 6. Fundamentally, it all boils down to Twilight Sparkle.
Right, and that's what
She is the main character.
did. It brought it all back down to the whole idea of Twilight Sparkle, learning about friendship and everything.
Yes, yeah. It's just sort of like that is the core concept around the entire series revolves around, pretty much. And by extension, I would say she is best pony. However, my favourite pony is Rainbow Dash.
All right, and why is that?
I don't know. It's hard to explain. Honestly, her personality reminds me of me. First of all, I'm quite the narcissist. I'm not sure whether or not that comes across over Skype, but I'm positively in love with myself. I do like Rainbow Dash though. Rainbow Dash is I don't know. It's just certain parts of their personality that I find endearing. I guess I like her for sort of the same reasons that I depict Twilight Sparkle, liking her in the fan fiction that I write. You know, she's strong and daring and courageous and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
As well as being totally self-absorbed, which I can totally relate to.
Yeah, I think it's sort of interesting. It seems that a lot of people, when they think of their favorite pony, it always seems that relatability is probably one of the biggest factors that people
Yes, yeah.
And that, for example, my favorite pony is Fluttershy, and that's because I am fairly shy and introverted and everything. You know, I can talk to people on Skype, but don't expect me to go out into public and start conversations with people.
And say hi, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm actually quite extroverted. I can go outside, and if someone says hi to me, I can launch into full conversation with them, no problem whatsoever. And if I'm like meeting a whole new bunch of people at a party, or if it's some awkward group situation, I've been factored in with a load of new people, or a new person joins my group, I'll always make effort to talk to them and sort of be outgoing and stuff. And I don't really see that explicitly in any characters other than Rainbow Dash and, maybe Rarity and Pinkie Pie. Yeah. But Pinkie Pie is not my favourite pony because slapstick is not my favourite form of humour. And actually, if I'm thinking about the funniest pony and the most comedic, the most cleverly comedic, I'd actually have to go with Fluttershy. Oh. Because she has quite a lot of her mannerisms are quite funny, and the way that she conducts herself, and the whole louder yay thing.
Yeah.
And the two episodes of hers that, like, I'm tempted to say that they were almost the best episodes in season 2. Her 2 episodes. Putting your hoof down, and what was the other one called? Hurricane Fluttershy. Especially that montage scene, that was just that was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was great.
Putting your hoof down was actually my favorite episode, but I don't know if you're subscribed to my channel, then I have ranted aplenty about that, so I'm not going to start that again. But
oh yes, putting your hoof down is a great episode. Honestly, right? I have a few friends, like IRL friends. Of course, I have a few IRL friends. I'm Mr. Popular. No, a couple of them that I met them last September because I've just recently moved to a new school, and I was the only person from my old school who moved to this new one. So basically, September at the start of this school year, I had to make new friends pretty much instantly, and it was surprisingly easy compared to how I thought it would be. And I revealed to them that I was a brony, and one of the members of the group already was a brony. His favourite pony is Fluttershy, by the way, as well, which is, I think, actually, I guess, part of the reason why I wrote a song about her. But the other thing is, I had these 2 other friends, and they said, "Oh yeah, right, Jack, ponies, whatever," because they knew about the whole brony phenomenon. And when I revealed that I was a brony, they were like, "Oh no, one of them has infected our group." And in the last couple of months, they got a bit curious and said, "Hey, you know what, Jack? Send me a few episodes, and we'll see how it goes." And honestly, I only send episodes to people who I know are going to like them. And I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to have them hooked by the first 2 or 3 episodes. And one of the episodes that I send to people, if I'm going to be sending them links to anything, the first one is always putting your hoof down. Always, every time.
Yeah, right. Again, it's my favorite episode. It's really fantastic, and it's kind of sad because a lot of people don't seem to see it. A lot of people really do not like that episode, which is kind of ridiculous, if you ask me.
Yeah, the best bit is Iron Will's sort of actions, like the hand movements that he does. Lean, mean, whatever it is, machine, and then he does the hand movements. Like, thing.
Yeah.
It's great.
And
Yeah,
as I mentioned in my reviews, it has great sort of comedic timing and everything, right? He's doing the hand movements, and then there's a pause, and then he does one.
Yeah.
More,
God. And the bit where he sort of flexes his muscles and it explodes, all of the color and stuff explodes out of him like it's some commercial, and then Rarity and Pinkie Pie look behind at where he was looking. It's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
It's great. It's just the little subtle things. I think actually that's what makes Friendship is Magic so good, as like the moments that you get, the sort of specific little bits that really stick out and sort of push over the edge of sort of hilarity and that sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah.
It really goes to show that everyone involved in the show, like the animators, with all the subtle things they add, it just goes to show that the people involved in making it actually really do care about what they are making.
They enjoy it, and you can tell that they enjoy it as well.
Right.
And there's a lot of you can almost palpably feel the joy that goes into making it, and the effort as well. And honestly, I think it's better than any other cartoon I've ever seen in terms of just the raw joy and fun factor out of it. But yeah, we're getting off topic again. I'm sorry for sidetracking you. But yeah, that is one of my favorite
episodes.
Off topic
is fine. I was actually kind of hoping for that.
Good. Excellent. Oh, great. Let's discuss the episode Sonic Rainboom. Yay! That's one of my favorites.
Anyway, so yeah, okay. Incidentally, my next question was, do you have a favorite episode? But I think we've sort of already talked about that.
Actually, you know what? I can't call Sonic Rainboom specifically my favorite. Let me just, because basically what I do usually is if I find a channel that's got color corrected 1080p iTunes rips of like really high quality versions of Pony stuff, and I've got a few episodes missing, I always download them to my computer in case Hasbro decides to excise them from YouTube.
Right.
But yeah, I've got the entire of season 1, 2, and 3 in full color corrected 1080p, and it's iTunes rips, and it's fantastic. I actually have a version of it's episode 14 of season 2, which is the infamous Derpy episode that they censored. Mm-hmm. I've got somebody made a version of that, which was the 1080p TV version, which was uncensored, and then the 1080p iTunes version, which was censored, and they spliced it together and like chopped all the frames apart and stuck them together and balanced all the colours and things exactly right, and they came out with a completely watermark-free iTunes quality 1080p version of the uncensored version of the episode, which was great. So, Derpy in all of her wall-eyed glory. I love Derpy. She's a good character. Great character.
Yeah. Anything
That's
I
one
can
of
do to help?
Huh? Anything I can do to help? And I was like, it's kind of funny because of how clumsy she is, but it's like her voice and then the way everyone treats her. Rainbow Dash was kind of a bitch in that episode.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously, you can have a little bit more sympathy, and it really makes sort of the audience feel sympathetic with this clumsy character. I think it's quite accurate, actually. Obviously, if one of your eyes doesn't work properly, you're going to have problems with depth perception. I thought it was a really sort of sensitive portrayal of it, but apparently, soccer moms on iTunes didn't agree, and I heard a story actually from one of the people who work at DHX, who shan't be named because they were anonymous at the time, but it's been verified as being true, that the complaint wasn't actually from Hasbro, it was from Apple. And they threatened to revoke the content rating and put it up from G if they didn't remove that bit of the episode, because it's like, aimed at younger children, allegedly. They were threatening to do something with the age rating on iTunes that Hasbro deemed undesirable, and then so they had to bump the whole thing, and censor it. But whatever. I mean, you got to do what you got to do when you're a big multinational corporation, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm not going to harp on about that too much because I know it's a bit of a sensitive issue, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, with
I support the original. I support the original creative decisions that went into that episode, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
All right. And another question. So, have you seen Equestria Girls, and do you plan to remix any of the songs from that?
I've not yet seen Equestria Girls. I was waiting for a high-quality Blu-ray rip of it. Again, back to the piracy. Oh my god. And actually, you know what? I said I was having a bit of a problem with BitTorrent earlier. That's actually what is currently downloading in BitTorrent. So once we cut off from Skype, in about 3 hours after that, it should be downloaded, and I'll watch it. And if the songs are good, I'll remix something from them. I was thinking about doing maybe a remix of the song that was in one of the season 4 animatics. I think it was Apples to the Core, something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, spoilers again. Look out.
Spoilers again! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah. But it's entirely dependent on whether or not the movie is good, and whether or not the songs are good. If they're good enough, and if I like them, then you know what? Yeah, fair enough, I will. But it's as yet undecided. To be honest, the whole thing about Equestria Girls, oh my god, it's the end of the fandom. It's like, come on, how many catastrophic ends of the fandom have there been since it started? Oh my god, Lauren Faust is taking a backseat. End of the fandom. Lauren Faust is leaving the show entirely. End of the fandom. Hasbro is making them include Twilight Sparkle's brother and a new princess. End of the fandom.
Derpy got
the Crystal Empire episode. The Crystal Empire episode was made to sell toys. End of the fandom. Twilight Sparkle's getting wings. End of the fandom. Equestria Girls. End of the fandom. Again and again. It happens constantly. It's like we have a monthly fandom apocalypse.
Right. I find myself almost looking forward to it, just watching.
Oh god, yes. I was looking forward to fan reaction,
No.
to be honest. It's like, god. The fuss that people make and the rages that they get into. It's like, I'm leaving the fandom altogether because it's not what I imagined the first pony movie would be like. It's like, A, your tears are delicious fuel. B, right, watch it with an open mind like you did the actual series. It's totally nonsensical watching something like My Little Pony and then going, oh my god, Equestria Girls, that's so lame, I'm not going to watch it because it's going to be crap. And then goes back to episodes from season 1 like Owl's Well That Ends Well. I can remember how everyone loved that episode, didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they? Owlowicious replacing Spike. And the beautiful characterization in that episode, like, yeah, season 1, we hark back to the glory days, but they weren't all glory,
Right.
And then the message at the end of oh god, what was the infamous message in one of the episodes of season 1 that had slightly feeling pinky keen. That had slightly supernatural undertones, and that people thought, you know what, that's implying stuff that it shouldn't be.
End of the fandom.
But, end of the fandom. Yeah, no, it's whatever you read into that episode. To be honest, right. Really, it's yeah. I always thought that it meant more of have faith in your friends than believe in weird supernatural crap. But whatever. People made a fuss over that too. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if they're really saying, oh, season 1 was the glory days, no. If you look at how much the show's improved since then, especially during season 2, I can't take almost everyone I've seen complain bitterly about Equestria Girls. I can't take seriously unless they've actually seen it and watched it objectively. And most of the people who have watched it objectively, it's either been as good as some of season 3 or great.
Right, and
everyone who I've spoken to has been pleasantly surprised, so I can't wait, personally.
Right, and, I went in and watched it, open-mindedly and everything, and it just completely blew me away. I thought it was, just fantastic and incredible and
100%.
amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah, but it might come as a surprise that I actually went into MLP determined to hate it. Pretty much the only reason why I was watching the first few episodes was so that I could have flame bait pretty much for one of the threads that was on the forum I was on at the time. And I was going to go in the pony thread and go, oh yeah, it's crap, what's the coming episode? Yeah, it's awful. I watched the first one, I thought, yeah, you know what, it's nothing special, but it's nothing bad either. Watched the second one and thought, yeah, you know what, it's a good kids show, but it's not something I want to watch. But I think there might be something I'm missing. It almost felt like I was skipping over something entirely. And then halfway through the third episode, I was like, okay, this is good. End of the fourth episode, okay, this is really good and really funny. At end of the fifth episode, oh my god, I need more of this. So yeah, basically by that Gilder episode and the scene where Rainbow Dash stands up to Gilder, it was like, oh my god, that's in a kids' cartoon? Crazy stuff. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It might come as a surprise actually that they don't show MLP in this country.
Oh.
In the UK, they don't show the show. Huh. So it's very, very difficult to explain bronies and the whole friendship is magic phenomenon because it hasn't happened over here yet. They've dubbed it into every known language available, right? And they show it in loads of English-speaking countries, not the UK.
That's actually kind of surprising.
We even have the toy lines, right? And the toy lines are branded with stuff like Royal Wedding, Crystal Empire, and they all come out at the same time as all the American toys. And we have the crystal blind bags and stuff, and the merchandise and things. And we had all of the stuff at Build-A-Bear, and Twilight Alicorn toys are coming out now, and Princess Kate stuff, with all the correct branding. No show to accompany it. Surely, you know. The thing is, though, right? In every single country where it was run, the My Little Pony Build-A-Bear was the most successful run that Build-A-Bear has ever had with a featured toy series, even in this country. And you could literally see people flocking around these stores to buy these, cheap stuffed ponies, right? And I was thinking, how can you know that and not air the show in the UK? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it makes it incredibly difficult to explain to people. So yeah. What was the question again? I can't even remember now. We've gone so far off. It's great.
Okay, I think the last question I asked was about Equestria Girls. So.
Okay, yeah. I think I've probably covered that entirely, I guess. I hope. Yeah. So yeah, what's the next one?
That was it. But
that's it? Yeah. You're out of questions? No. God. Well, yeah. So,
wait, no, actually,
is there anything,
I just
anything else?
2 more questions.
So, okay.
Yeah. These are both sort of music game related. So first, have you heard of the My Little Karaoke game thing that has come out recently? Has been kind of popular. And do you intend to try to get any of your songs on that?
I was unaware of this. Hold on, let me Google it.
Okay.
What's it called?
Just Google My Little Karaoke Singing is Magic.
My Little Karaoke Singing is Magic. Right, okay. Yeah, because I've been asked many times actually to distribute instrumental versions and acapellas and things of my songs. Oh my god. Okay. So it's like SingStar but ponies.
Yeah.
On Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Ooh.
Yeah. And I have been horribly addicted to it.
Okay.
Even though I can't sing.
Suddenly, I'm very interested. What was the second question? You asked whether or not I wanted to get some tracks on it.
Yeah.
Well, I do now. I do now. Oh my god. Yeah, definitely. Why not? That's gonna be awesome.
All right. And okay, so another question then, also somewhat related, is have you heard of the game Audio Surf?
Yeah. Of course, I've heard of Audio Surf. Yeah.
And have you ever tried playing any of your songs on that?
I've never actually played Audio Surf myself. I should. Hold on, I'm just closing a window. I should probably get into it at some point. Actually, yeah, it looks really good. But as for rhythm action games, I kind of my interest in rhythm action games sort of stopped around DDR.
Right.
I mean, I'd like to make sort of step files and whatever the hell it is of my own songs in DDR. That would be fantastic if there's like a Pony DDR clone. But Audio Surf, yeah, you know what? I might just have to obtain it somehow and stick my songs into it.
Right, because I've actually played most of your songs on Audio Surf, and they work pretty well with Audio Surf, actually.
Excellent.
Interpret them pretty well. The one disappointing thing, though, is that nobody else has played them, so there's no one else on the leaderboards.
Oh, so you're top of the leaderboards.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to have to get it right, and then I'm going to see if I can beat you with my own tracks.
Right. Well, actually, part of that might be because I did have to edit the tags a bit in the music files, because normally the leaderboards in Audio Surf don't work if there is no author tag.
Yeah.
The downloads for your songs don't. So
they don't have any tags on them. No, that's something I need to fix, actually. Thanks for reminding me about that.
Right, so I just replaced them with eXtaticus, and, no one else has done that. So I'm basically the world champion.
Yeah, excellent. That's great. Yeah, awesome. Well, the thing is, what I'm probably going to do is it's going to require converting them from the original WAV masters, because when I render out in FL Studio, I render into lossless .wav format, and it's CD quality. And I take it into Audacity and add like a couple seconds of silence either side, just to buffer it out a little bit.
Right.
So that there's no skipping, or if someone's media player jumps at the start a bit, you're not going to miss any of the track. Mm-hmm. And then I do all of that and make sure all the reverb and stuff's working properly in Audacity, and then I export it into FLAC and MP3 and stuff like that for uploading. And I think every single time so far that I've done that, I've sort of forgotten completely to include the tags, which is a problem, because it's going to involve re-uploading all of my songs. And on my internet connection has a maximum upload speed of 0.24 megabits per second, which is it takes a while, but it's something I'm definitely looking into. I mean, maybe when I get back to school I can hijack their internet connection for it. But I'll do that. Yeah, definitely.
Right, and also
then you can re-download them all. I'm kidding.
No, and then also, if you are watching this video, go download all of his songs. Remember to change the author tag to eXtaticus, and then try to beat all my high scores.
Yes. Lowercase e, capital X.
Right.
Please remember that.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so, oh god, yes, the other one that I quite like to use my own tracks on is Beat Hazard. Have you heard of that one?
No, I don't think so. Here, I'll Google it.
Beat Hazard is a twin-stick shooter, and the enemies and all of the shots and things and all of the visualizations sort of pop and pulsate and move in time with the music. And I think it's available on Xbox Live Arcade and Steam, and you can load whatever track into it you want, and it all synchronizes up with the rhythm of the song. And if there are any radical changes in the beat or the instrumentation, new enemies will appear, or you get new shots and things like that. And it's really good. It's a really, really fun game to play. And the faster your song and the louder it is, the more difficult it gets, because the more enemies appear. So I can imagine that Never Ending Nightmare in particular will be quite challenging.
Right.
So yeah.
So yeah, I see it here on Steam. I guess I'll get the demo for that.
Get the trial. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, if you like twin stick shooters, which I do. I mean, my favorite genre is shoot 'em up at the moment. Well, my favorite genre was 3D platformers, but 3D platformers have kind of gone to shit recently. I'll be honest. Yeah. I'm used to games like Rayman 2, Sonic Adventure. classic style, early 6th generation.
And I mean, has there
platformers.
ever even actually been like a 3D platformer game in the past few years? The latest one I can remember is Super Mario Galaxy, and yeah.
Yeah, there have been Sonic games, but the only decent Sonic game in the last 10 years is Sonic Generations. And that came out in 2011, which is a good couple of years ago now.
Right.
So, mind you, if you're interested in Sonic, I definitely recommend getting the re-release of Sonic Adventure 2 from Xbox Live Arcade, because that's my favourite game as well. Again, it's available on Steam and PSN, but whatever platform you have.
Yeah.
No, but the other thing is, I like shoot 'em ups quite a lot. What a lot of people ask me is whether or not I've played the Toho series. And I don't know whether you've heard of Toho, but it's basically like an anime-style bullet hell shoot 'em up that's really popular in Japanese indie circles. And all of the other 3 Eurobeat musicians who do pony stuff, who I know of, like Stormwolf, Delta Brony, and Odyssey, they're all massively into Toho. And I'm like, kind of left out, because I'm sort of the only one of all of them who doesn't like it. Because I'm a massive shoot 'em up fan, right? And I always thought that Toho was kind of a cheap, scenery-less, factory slammed out blueprint bullet hell shooter that I find very repetitive, boring, and sort of luck and memory based the first time round you play it. And I don't really enjoy that. It's basically a very unimaginative game hiding under a sort of veil of pretty lights and colours and cute anime characters. It's got a nice soundtrack, and some of the Eurobeat remixes of the Toho songs are great, even if you're not into the series, which I'm not. But the games, being a big shoot 'em up buff, I can't really recommend them. But yeah, you know what? Beat Hazard as a twin stick shooter, it's kind of like Geometry Wars with music, if you can imagine that. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of sums up my video game taste. Oh god, this doesn't leave much scope for any future interviews or anything. Anybody else, does it? I've kind of wrapped up my entire life in the space of an hour now. God, this is going to be a long upload for you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you
said you had a couple more questions.
I don't know. Well, no, I think that was all of my questions, but...
Well, it's been fun.
I don't know,
It's been
maybe...
a roller coaster ride of rambling, the rantacious ranting, and all the rest of it. I've had fun.
Perhaps later we will have a follow-up of after you've seen Equestria Girls, and then we can talk for several hours on end about that.
Oh yes, I eagerly await it. I definitely eagerly await it. Yeah, you know what? Actually, this is my first ever interview. So yeah, this is actually my first ever interview with a YouTube channel that I've ever done. So yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, thank you for being interested in my work. I guess right. I know I'm not, I'm probably not first choice Brony for a big musician interview or whatever, seeing as I'm not that popular at the moment. But yeah, it's been awesome.
The goal with my series here was to try to focus on the ones that are lesser known. Generally, I was kind of putting the cap at if they have more than 10,000 subscribers, I'm not going to bother talking about them.
Bother with them at all. And yeah, you know what? I think only one Eurobeat pony guy has more than 10,000, and that's Odyssey. And honestly, his schedule is so busy. Good luck getting an interview with him. You could be. I'm sure you could be Everfree Radio and still have difficulty on that front.
Yeah, and don't get too excited about the interview. I mean, my channel has just a little bit over, I think, 60 subscribers now, so it's not that big.
That's not too bad. I mean, I suppose I can on my channel I can link to you.
Yeah.
That would be pretty awesome. Yeah. I think this could be the. I was really astonished actually when I read my YouTube inbox. I was like, someone wants an interview with me? That's great. Awesome.
Yeah, actually, originally when I was writing that, my original plan for my whole sort of Fanwork Spotlight series was that it would just be me talking about the person, so I'd be saying, oh, well, I really like eXtaticus' music, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, you do?
But while I was writing that, I thought,
Wouldn't it be so much more fun to have another person here to discuss it with me?
right.
Yes,
Like,
definitely.
get the man himself. So
Yes, the man himself.
yes.
I'm not sure about man. No, I am a man. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yep. All right. So yeah, I guess.
Anyway, it's been a fun interview. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a long time to edit this down, or perhaps I'll have the edited version and then just
And then the full uncut eXtaticus mindfuck. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. A journey into the mind of the creator. No, I'm kidding.
Yep. All right.
You sure think a lot of yourself, don't you, eXtaticus? Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then perhaps we'll have our Equestria girls follow up, and
Oh god, yes, we could do it could be like a video response. We could have a part 2. It's like eXtaticus talks about Equestria girl. I could be a regular.
Yeah, we'll have the Cam Goes Pony and EXtaticus talk about blank whatever series, and
oh
we'll just
god, yes.
Random topic. We'll just start with a single sentence, and then
we'll start with a single sentence and then spiral into hours and hours of endless rambling.
Yep.
I've forgotten what the first question was. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And we end up completely lost, and then maybe 5 or 6 hours in it'll come full circle.